Tell me that heaven ain't black on everything I love. Try not to brag till you bring it up. Ton of vision.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Now the elder statesman of the NFL, Adam Vinatieri, set to get us started. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be out of bounds here, a yard shy of the 25 at the 24. First play and a first throw for Rodgers. Connecting with Kupp here on the out route. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
On 2nd and 10, Rodgers got a man. It's Randy Moss complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 39. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
If we came into this one focused on Randy Moss, and now he has our full attention with his first grab of the game.
Well, he's one of only 2 players to go a whole season averaging over 100 yards receiving and average a touchdown per game as well. That's a pretty impressive stat.
It really is, especially when you consider that every defense he faced was prepared.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Randy Moss, 39 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the early lead on the road here at Lambeau. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. it's Moss complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
Some guys just simply have it. And Randy Moss is one of those guys. His big playability, once again on display right there.
That's what he's known for. He averaged 15.6 yards per reception during his playing days. Highest career yards per catch average for any player with 900 or more receptions. Good running from Barkley there on 1st down as he'll get forward for about 6 yards.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Again, it's Barkley. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? Five or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 40 yards rushing so far, and this is just their first possession. They've got a new set of downs here. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Saquon Barkley, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Packers are an extra point away from taking the lead. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
And it's been a Terry now to kick it away after the touchdown. It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. So remember, Charles, last time they were out here, they scored, but they just saw the opposition score, and they're trailing right now, so they're trying to keep pace here. They need a touchdown drive.
Well, if you're a fan of offense, you're loving this, but if you're a fan of defense, this is tough to watch, and it's also tough to keep that up when you just watch your opponent march down the field on a scoring drive that lasts into double-digit snaps. You need a score here, not just to follow the momentum from your last drive, but put the onus back on your opponent. And that's what they're doing right now, swapping that onus back and forth.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. After one, a one-point game, 7-6. Second and 6. Now Rodgers Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Moss. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a first down. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Open man right side is Kupp, complete. And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Rodgers now on first down. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. The end result, 21 yards.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
Chubb will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. Give him 2 yards on that one. Second and goal now.
Good work there, holding him out on first down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Second and goal from the 1. Chubb again. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run for Nick Chubb. And the Seahawks have retaken the lead. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line.
As the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. Knocks over another. And I don't think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot. Maybe. Call it 4th and inches. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that'll bring up 4th down.
26.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. He's got a man. It's the tight end, Casper. And he is going to have the Packers first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. They'll try the right side here. Barkley 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there's a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
62 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. A first down carry here for Johnson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. A handoff, Barkley running left. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. They'll go to Barkley again. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Hey, take 20. Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. Right now. You got 58. Hey, slack.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw here hauled in by Kupp.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. Now Rodgers. That's complete to Marshall Faulk.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
And he spikes it to stop the clock. And now if they choose, they'll have a chance at maybe a long field goal try here just before the break. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And this is going to wind up left. Well struck, but it's no good. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Packers set to get the football first, and they are trailing on the scoreboard as we resume action. Ready for the 3rd quarter.
Taken in at the 3. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the 2nd quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Barkley. And Barkley did not get there. Defensively, they rally the troops to force fourth down after that 7-yard pickup back on first.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Rodgers going to go on fourth down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the 8-time Pro Bowler Steve Atwater. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
I don't think there's any other way to put it, but that was just simply deflating because you know they came out ready to go at halftime, right? Everyone motivating each other, wanting to get out there and get going. And that turnover absolutely saps your momentum. Now you're just shouting encouragement to your defense, hoping they can pick you up and give you another chance.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers.
Looking there for Pitts, but intercepted. And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Now their defense got him the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, at the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you coming like an auctioneer. We've got two. Do I hear three? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Shotgun now for Rodgers.
That's down the field to Moss, complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. And now off to the races, down the right side. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
So what a turn of events there. You're driving to take the lead in this 3rd quarter, but then one mistake, and you're watching the ball being returned for a touchdown.
Certainly a great example of how focus has to be there on every play, doesn't it, partner? You can't get complacent. And I think that he did. He's got him moving downfield, but that's a play where he just shouldn't have thrown the football. And then ultimately could wind up costing him the ball game.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Given 15 there, the Packers have a first. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Rodgers going to throw.
And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked.
Mario Williams. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
26.
after the sack on first down. Rodgers. That's going to be caught by Moss. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 18. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. And it's a Packers touchdown. Jerry Rice, an 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Packers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
Vinatieri connecting on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown.
This one taken just inside the 10.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, it's very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm out.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown.
Well, part of this defense now with multiple interceptions in this game, but this time they say turnabout is fair play because, remember, they had a pick 6 on the other side, and now they get a pick 6 of their own.
Yeah, they actually added to some of their nice play throughout this ball game. A good effort by them to secure another interception on this one. A better effort to take it all the way back for 6. And how about an exceptional effort to match their opposition's pick 6 from earlier in this game.
And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Takes it at the 7.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they have to try and move past that pick 6 because now they're dealing with a 4th quarter deficit, and they need this drive to end in points. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out.
He's got a man, complete.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
36 yards on the play.
Well, this is where an offense needs to show what it's made of. And, in fact, where a quarterback needs to show what he's made of. Trying to engineer a 4th quarter comeback, and he hits a big one right there.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. That is caught. It's Calvin Johnson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time.
And the Packers are going to have it here at their own 15.
Agreed, that's twice now in this 4th quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They get the crucial turnover, just huge, but now they've got the football deep in their own territory, and you got to be careful because if you give it right back, there goes your lead.
Have to be extremely happy with their defense. They received a gift. That takeaway, even though they're deep in their own territory, now they have the football. And you know there's always that alpha on defense, that grouchy guy. Forget what the coaches said. I'll guarantee you, he told the quarterback, we just took care of you. Now you take care of us.
They'll try and run down some clock with Johnson. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. Throwing now is Rodgers. Throw left side, complete to Moss. And he's going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And shedding the tackle and now some room. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the 4th.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed, like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
And he'll take this all the way down to the 15-yard line. 115 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. They'll run it again with Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
Back to throw, Rodgers. And he'll be tackled right on the 10, well short of the first down. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Caught on a slant, and he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Obviously, Charles, such an important, well-executed touchdown, and that caps off what has been a strong second half. Remember, they trailed at halftime.
And how about the response? That's the type of thing that every team talks about before a season begins. Don't worry about the scoreboard at the half. Let's play strong in the second and come out and take the fight to our opponent. They did exactly that, and now they have the lead to show for it.
And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. From the 10. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well,
he's got a man complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. How about a 39-yard pickup? They'll take it.
The dynamic duo is doing damage in this one, and they've certainly been on point throughout. And they hook up again for another big play.
So here comes the trusty, battle-tested Adam Vinatieri for a big kick. This to get it back to a one-score game. The career leader in field goals made knocks that one through. And this is back down to a 7-point game. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote. Excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.